you want to see what I'm working on, go to my YouTube channel, and you can watch my YouTube live that I'm working on. I actually am going to be, working a lot more tonight. So if you guys, probably not doing so much talking or answering questions. So if you want to know what I'm drawing, know what I'm doing, go to my YouTube live, and you can see what I'm actually drawing. What's up, Rosa Studios? Yeah, night owl working at night in the wee hours of the night. Like I said, if you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel, and you can see my lives, see what I'm actually putting together. Starlight Shanice, or is that Charisse? Yeah, Starlight Charisse. Thank you. I actually started working on this piece last night when I was chopping it up with everybody. So hard trying to keep up with 2 live chats. Eon Sheehan, what's up? You know what I might do? While you guys give me a second, I'm actually gonna pull up. So maybe should I pull up the live? Maybe I can pull. This program is called I used to use Manga Studio, but now I'm using Clip Studio. And Clip Studio is owned by the same company. It's basically the same thing. It's just an upgrade of Manga Studio. Hopefully I'll get to a little bit of coloring and shading tonight, um, which will be fun for you guys to see, I think. Try to do a little bit extra. Oh, Jay Hero, what's up, man? Like I said before, if you guys want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel and check out my live. Um, I decided to do a piece for um, a little comic that I've been running on the side called Duelist. What's up, Tupac? Um, Duelist is not like a public project that I promote a lot, because it is basically it's kind of like a test manga that I'm ultimately running to improve my drawing skills and my manga storytelling skills. Um, so I'm just doing a little piece for that. It's funny because generally, when I do a piece for Duelist, I'm about to do the next chapter. Um, I'm not saying that I am working on the next chapter right now, but I do know what I kind of want to write for the next chapter. I just haven't put it down on paper yet. Actually, most of the time when I do Duelist, I never put it on paper. I write the chapters and kind of draw them simultaneously. It's kind of like my way, my like way of writing. J Hero, let's see what he's saying. Good looks on many people doing the characters from Iku the Keeper. Yeah, there was a lot of people that did Iku. And Duelist has been around for a while, man. Loving the story. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really got to jump back into it and do the next chapter, because the next chapter is gonna bring in some of the characters that I introduced and stuff like that. What inspired the concept of Duelist? I'm into theology and kind of religion-based things, as far as like story writing, and a lot of things inspired kind of Duelist in the direction of it. Assassin's Creed was one, the precursors, um, and it really stemmed from a drawing I did in high school. And when I was moving to New York, and I was like, trying to bring my art books and stuff like that with me, I found the Duelist characters I did. Originally, it was called School of Aeon, um, and yeah, that was the original. And I just decided, like, if I was gonna be a mangaka, let me start actually writing manga and doing one. And I figured Duelist had already had some developed characters in it, so I was like, whatever. I already had them designed, and I said, fuck it, why not? Um, but the inspiration, as far as the story goes, um, uh, a lot of like school-based manga. I would say Yu Yu Hakusho was part of that influence. Doing a bunch of school students is kind of um, Yusuke and Kuwabara and shit. Um, yeah, and then I like the religion, the concept of duality and dualism. So I was like, let me just play with this. Let me play with the aspect of duality. Fun fact about me is I generally always like I always like my sketches more than I actually like my finished products. It's a fucking pain, man, but um, to go from something that you really like, and then you're just like, fuck, this doesn't look the way I wanted it to look. Damn it. You know what? That leg doesn't go there. I'm trying to make it work, and it doesn't work. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of shit. Change your perspective on it. Because technically it would come from like right here. I'm talking to myself because I'm drawing also on my Cintiq. If you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube live and you can watch it there. For all the people who want to see how I color or shade, um, I'm going to be doing a little bit of that tonight. I'm working on kind of the easiest part, one of the parts I've already kind of like established a little bit. I always like underdrawing this character Marcos, undercoloring him in purple, and also drawing him in purple, like that. Super talented bro, shout from Mississippi. What's up, Mississippi? Thank you guys for showing up and on my Instagram and on my YouTube and motivating me. Last night was I really enjoyed live streaming with you guys last night, so I figured I'd do it again. Also, my live stream last night was fucking garbage. After I re-listened to it, I realized that you guys can hear the fan on my Cintiq. So I plugged in my headphones, using it as a microphone. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully I don't sound extremely loud. Let me check my levels. No, it's pretty good. And yeah, hopefully that's better. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's still using my computer mic. Let me see if I can switch this around. Advanced audio properties. Audio monitoring off. Mic and aux. Yeah, it's going off my mic. Volume 57%. Let's move that volume up a little bit to about 75%. Still not in the yellow. There we go. Hitting my yellow levels. Hopefully that's going to sound a lot better for the people who are watching this on YouTube. I think I'm going to do a little forward lighting here on Marcos's character. So one of the techniques I like to use when I'm lighting is actually fill in the entire character, and then I cut out the light spaces. And you don't have to do that. It's just a technique I like to use because what it does, or what I feel like it does, is I feel like it helps me get more dynamic forms of lighting. I feel like when I was lighting before, it was feeling very like there were a lot of specks. I feel like, specks of shading. And there's nothing wrong with that, that's just kind of like your style. But I felt like for me, when I found out about this technique, I can't remember who was doing it, whether it was Psyker or Jetty, and he was explaining, as one of, a particular technique. I felt like that really fit with what I wanted to do. Sometimes it takes longer than just doing some of the spotlighting. But then sometimes I get some very interesting effects when I light that way. How many of y'all went to Anime NYC today and told them you wanted to see me as in the art alley of Anime NYC? Anybody who's on the chat, let me know if you went to Anime NYC and hit them up and told them, yo, I want to see Mike Toney there at the expo. Yeah, I saw you up. I saw you up there. I thanked you for that. Like I said earlier, you guys want to see me at a anime expo. I applied for Anime NYC. a couple months ago, so I'm hoping that they pick my application. But it doesn't help if I have some of my supporters kind of hit them up and be like, yo, so when is this artist Mike Toney going to be there? Um, that'd be dope. I mean, if you're looking at my YouTube, you can see already how, by cutting out the lights, the light source, opposed to building in the shadows, um, for me, I'm already feeling like this piece has some dynamic lighting to it already. Like any painting too, it like takes me time to build out. Who's this character? Leek Skywalker just asked on YouTube, and the character is Marcos from a comic book I've been running for a little while called Duelist. And if you want to read Duelist, it's on topos.io. And it's about 3 kids who attend a school that ultimately trains them, or in the teachings of dualism, and that teaching basically allows the person to connect with their inner selves, and once they connect with their inner selves, they're able, to release certain abilities. There's 3 principles of practice in Duelist. You have chimerism, alchemy, and elementals. And essentially, obviously, elementals control, or the elementals' abilities come from the core elements. However, those abilities can vary. So instead of just using water, you can use ice. Instead of just using air, you can create barriers with air, opposed to just doing something pretty basic with that. Instead of using just earth, a combination of earth and water allows you to manipulate vegetation, which is like plants and stuff like that. Then there's specialty elements like light, that people can harness and make hard constructs out of light or bend light. And if you know a little bit about science, bending light can allow an object or an individual to become invisible, affecting the light density or how much light is allowed in a particular area. It could black out that area. Yes, you need an anime. Your work needs to be animated. Yeah, maybe someday. You inspire me to draw, Caleb. Thank you. I'm glad I can inspire. I was up hella late last night, so I'm going to try to end this stream around 1 o'clock U.S. Eastern Time. Can the little light get on that muscle right there? See, that's like OD, but maybe if I adjust this light a little bit, where the muscle, where your traps kind of come up, maybe a little bit of light hits there. Maybe there's some light leak on this side. So I've basically shaded my character mostly. If you're watching my video, what's my YouTube name? It's just Mike Toney. If you look up Mike Toney, you should see it. And you'll be able to ask questions and do stuff through there. Light leak. I figured I just wanted a confirmation. I love the chapters, art style, level up as the story progresses. Yeah, I'll do a chapter, and then I take like a month or 2 off, then I'll do another chapter, and then I'll take a month or 2 off, and I'll just practice. So I come back, and each chapter is a little bit stronger than the next. I've actually taken like almost a year off So if I do another chapter, I'm hoping it will be substantially better. I'm hoping to get better brushes and stuff like that. That will help me get more of that real manga feel, even though I'm working digitally. There's a couple cats I have to hit up about making, better brushes and stuff. So stay tuned for some new shit. Just want to say you are the truth, sir. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Q. I appreciate that. Trying. If you don't know Q, check out her work. She does a lot of busts. And by busts is like headshots. And she works in Copic markers traditionally, which is far harder than anything I can possibly do or have done. I will say I am a better traditional sketch artist, and inker, but I want to get better at digital, so I spend most of my time doing digital work. Yes, sir. If you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube. Bodies will come soon. Yeah, bodies will come soon in due time. You know what I'm saying? Let you practice, and feel comfortable doing drawing bodies and all that jazz. Damn, that line is way too thick. I need it to be a width 8, a width of 8 or 7. Match the regular line width, or to be slightly thinner. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm coloring, man, I feel so fucking guilty because I know I should be practicing. I should be practicing my anatomy and gestures and more, core elements slash fundamentals of drawing. I feel like sometimes I'm wasting my time when I do color because not that I have it on lock or anything. I just it's probably better, man, if I was just focusing on those core fundamentals. Leak Walker on YouTube just asked me. I will, and I can't wait to see the other projects that you have dropping. Yeah, Iku maybe the next, or Osiru. I've kind of shelved Road to Elishan. Maybe I'll come back to it. I've been doing a lot of research as far as like writing and everything else. So hopefully I'll be able to improve my writing skills for when I do like Road to Elishan and stuff like that, which has just a main protagonist and a main villain, and most of my stories do not have that. Either the villain or the antagonist is the individual himself, or a group of individuals, and not just one kind of big bad. I do like the kind of big bad storytelling elements. I want to do something slightly different. Let's go with the lighter green. To be honest, this nigga would end up wearing all black. You know what I'm saying? Or like a weird colored pair of pants. Oh, I had him wearing white pants originally. See, this is why you should have your character references when you're working on your character. Okay, Mr. Destiny, do I have any resources online or offline that I use to help hone my skills for art? Yeah, I got a ton of resources. Um, I'm constantly, focusing and thinking about art on a regular basis. One of the resources I like to use is the Skelly app. It's created by Proco. I also use Proco on YouTube. For all the people who are asking me a request for a live video, Um, yeah, you know, I'll grant this request, and this person can ask me a particular question. Let's see what this person is trying to say. Go live with NKV2. Didn't want to go live. All right, that's cool. So back to my resources. If you go to Proko on YouTube and you just type in PROKO, um, he's a really good resource. I use New Masters Academy to work on my gesture drawing. I use Cypher sometimes to work on other techniques for drawing and stuff like that, coloring. Um, I use Ahmed Asuri or whatever it is. Ahmed, I think he says it or whatever in his earlier videos when he was explaining it. Um, I also use Anatomy for Artists on my phone. That allows me to learn the muscle groups and just, really learning where the muscles are, but then also learning where the tendons connect to the bones, because that will help you understand, the squash and stretch of muscles. Um, so when your muscle is, active or inactive, it's super important to know that, because then you know where your muscles are going to bulge, and you know where your muscles overlap other muscles, and what's in the forefront. It kind of helps you, when you understand the muscles and you understand where the tendons kind of touch the muscles, it gives you a better understanding of where you should be overlapping them, um, and how they should kind of be bending and bulging when you do. Proko helps anatomy a lot. He really does. I really like Proko's videos. I wanted to buy his actual like study thing, and I have to do that because I really want to do that. Um, I really love this lo-fi hip hop playlist, man. If you want to see what I'm drawing, check out my YouTube channel right now. I'm live, so you can watch me draw real time, or watch this video afterwards, and you'll see actually how I shade, my shading technique that I like to use for more dynamic shading, or dynamic lighting, I should say. Oh, another little technique I also like to use is when I do a character's eyeballs or I draw their eyes, I don't use pure white. One, because what's it called? The scalea? I think the scalea of your eyeball, the scalea, which is like the skin and the fluid that is a part of your eyeball, is actually like a grayish color, and it also helps for when you want to do like a particular highlight on the character's eyeball, and you get a chance to really see that specular highlight, which is like a pure kind of light bounce on the eyes. Um, and you're going to see me do an example of that right now, actually. Tweaker Beats. What's up? Mr. Destiny says thanks a lot. No problem, man. Is Photoshop you're working on? I'm not working on Photoshop. I'm working in the dark style theme of Clip Studio. Nah, he's using Studio Paint. Yes, sir. Maybe next time I'll do this live thing, and I'll go live with someone else, and maybe they can answer the questions for me, and I will just kind of draw, or they'll tell me the questions, and I can draw simultaneously. So now let's do the specular highlight that I was talking about above the fucking line work. Thank you. So if you're watching the YouTube channel, you're seeing I'm just kind of doing a specular light, which isn't even really coming from a real light source, which is bad. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to throw that light source right here. Because what happens is the light actually shines through your eyeballs to the other side, basically. You know, this isn't bad. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Because I like to work quickly, I have a couple techniques that I use to work quick. I'll use my overall outline highlight. I'll open up a new layer and throw a mask on that. And then I like to start off with my darker colors first. I'll take a darker color. Sometimes I'll stay in the warms or the cool colors, and I'll darken my character using a cool color kind of gradient. And then I like to light them with a warm color, but it also varies. Am I still using the old Cintiq Companion? I'm using Companion 2, yeah, so I'm not using a mobile studio. Unlike last night, it's hot as balls in my studio right now. So, you'll see me fidgeting with my hat and moving around and shit because I'm hot as balls right now. And I'm like directly under my fucking spotlights. What's up, Sketch Beats too? Sketchy Beats. If you have questions about the art, you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel. I said it 100 times. 100 fucking times right now. I feel like a broken record. Alright, so the light's covering too much of his face, so that's fine. Because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up lightening that a little bit. And I'm going to duplicate that layer. Now, the layer that I have outlined and all that other bullshit. And then I'm going to actually turn it into a screen layer. I'm going to jump into maybe some yellows or some oranges. And that's what I'm going to use to front light this character. And I put that over the dark layer because I kind of want it to pull back some of the darker shading without really taking too much of it away. I love your art and the blackness you invest in your work. Thank you. Appreciate it. A couple years ago, I decided I would only draw, at least for my personal characters and my not client work, that I would just draw black characters. You know, I mean, there are artists, some of my favorite artists never draw black characters. They only draw white characters or Asian characters. So, yeah, I decided to kind of make that a charge of mine, you know. And then, oops. Okay, and so what I like to do when I kind of, add in the extra light and stuff like that is what I'll do is I'll then duplicate that layer again, delete what's on it, and I'll bring it above the lines and I'll add a little bit of lighting there. That way I can lighten the dark lines that are there. And that light seems a lot brighter. It also starts pushing back some of the shading, the linear burn shading that I have going on. Once I do that, and I'm establish my light and how much light I want to hit my character, I start, having like now a hard lighting on it. And I just use my basic pen to just lay down some of these hard lights. Sometimes, ooh, that's like too fucking. So what I'll do is I'll dig deeper into a darker form of that orange, and that looks a lot better, a lot more believable. I do like to use my pen, and I also like to use the lasso tool and just generally hit certain areas with light. At the very end, I'll go into the shadow and I'll delete some of those lights there so I can have some like harder, darker shadows in that. And where I'm figuring out where to put the light is I'm basically putting the light on the upmost peak of parts of the muzzle. And that's where we're going to get a lot of that kind of glare back from the muscles and stuff. Muscles or, lips or nose or whatever. I put it on the peak, thinnest, smoothest layer, I would say, of the skin. And that's, where you're going to get those surfaces that feel a lot more reflective. I gotta say, man, it's crazy that there are, 30,000 people that are kind of following me at this moment. It's insane. I started drawing seriously, like taking drawing seriously, maybe 4 years ago. I decided that I would draw every day, no matter what. I've had to go to wakes and funerals and shit like that, and try not to let that deter me from getting artwork done that day. I draw on my off time at work. I draw when I'm in client meetings at work. And I am still focusing on what the clients are saying. But I've been so used to drawing when I was in school, like during classes and stuff. And it just helped me now be able to draw when I'm doing stuff, you know what I mean? Let's see these questions that are coming out. Is it smart to use a red base shading because of our blood's effects on our skin? And to be honest, I wouldn't know. I mean, everybody picks a different style of shading for them. You have people like Cyrene or what's that other shorty's name who draws a lot of crazy stuff too and uses different shading. But Lois VB, she shades in all different types of colors and stuff like that. So I really think it's just kind of whatever your style lends toward. Love your work. I'm not gonna say okay. And then what did the homie Quistman, what does it say? Quistmath the Tycoon. How can I get a collab with you for Illustrate on a project? I'm a writer for a comic, graphic novel, and hobbyist game. I mean, I for the most part I work with paying customers, so if you want to pay for art, we can work together. I know that's not the most ideal answer, but that's basically how I work. I mean, if I know the person and I trust their work ethic and I trust that the effort and the hours it takes me to do this stuff is not going to go to waste, then sometimes I feel comfortable collaborating with people for free, but it's very rare. Yeah. Hashtag VRare. See, I feel like something's missing here. Maybe here, or maybe I need to just get rid of the shadow that's here on this bottom area of the chin. It kind of helped a little bit, especially in the hair going all the way back there. That's not bad. I just feel like there needs to just be something else. So sometimes when I feel like there needs to be something else, I do like this very spot kind of oh yeah, Q, the money. Yeah, I'm using a Cintiq. Yeah, the bag is the bag is very important. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta live. You know, gotta pay my mortgage and shit. So, you know, it's appreciative. Um, oh, share the bag. Yeah, when I get up there, trust and believe that. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm very quick to put people on. You know what I'm saying? And support projects and stuff, like especially black creators that are doing shit, because it's extraordinarily important that we support each other and help each other kind of grow. And um, that doesn't just mean giving out free artwork, but that also means like paying artists for their work. And when you pay for work, you get better quality shit. Um, you also you ensure the respect of the artist. You get an artist that wants to work with you for longer, um, and continue to work with you. I've had people tip me, and those people, they they almost get like ranked up when they come back around. They're like, "Yo, I need a project done." I'm like, "Okay, let me push these other projects back a couple days, which most people are comfortable with, and work on the project with a dude that I know is going to pay me pretty well. Do that person's project, and kind of get that underway." Um, it sucks that that ends up being part of the motivation, but not motivation, but just like a part of it. But it's just kind of the nature of it, man. Like you know, in psychology, right? You learn that you can't create art or really sciences until you have food, shelter, and security. And so, unfortunately, in the time that we live in, food, shelter, and security is, as the young kids say, the bag. You know what I mean? Um, you got I got to be able to not even afford nice shit, but just like afford the ability to live. You know what I mean? If I'm doing free artwork, how am I supposed to do that? I need to get one or settle on the iPad Pro. Me personally, I think Cintiq is better. There's no comparison. There's a fucking eraser on this pen, Q. There's an eraser on it. If every time you have to erase some shit or make a fucking change, you gotta actually go from left to right and hit that erase button as often as you erase. Um, the amount of time, in my opinion, it saves you, insane. My rocker ring keys that I have on the left side of my screen, I utilize that. I have a backspace. I zoom in, zoom out. I make my pencil nib larger or smaller based on that. I don't have to go into any settings to change that. The level of time you save, it's way better, man. And to be honest, if you got to pay 12 to 1500 bucks for it, or go on what the fuck is it, eBay or something like that, and get one, I would say it's better than an iPad. Granted, iPad drawing is pretty good. The rubber nib has a better haptic feedback, um, in my humble opinion. But like that would be my perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? Is I would is that's the direction I would basically go in. My little opinion on it. Just it's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your work. So that's ultimately how I see it. Uh, what did the tycoon say? I'm heavy into anime, and black portrayal is a dismissal or not prominent. Yeah, I mean it wouldn't be prominent. Um, it's a Japanese medium. People are supposed to, or normally do, put themselves into whatever they work on. You find a lot of black artists grow up drawing white characters or Asian characters or anime characters and not really representing themselves, and that's part of media. But we have to look at anime as a Japanese medium, and even though they like to represent a lot of other cultures and not African cultures, um, they're victims of media as well. Toriyama made his racist ass looking characters because of 40 Days and 40 Nights, and you know a bunch of the references that he saw growing up of black people, victim of media. Um, T Billy, what's up? Who's that? Donnie Manga Facts, yeah. How do you get so well known? Drawing every day, using hashtags, reaching out to people who have bigger followings than me, and asking them if I can do free work for them, because I knew that that was an investment and it would translate into more exposure. Um, and so, like I said, man, like I have no problem doing free work, but I got to kind of believe in what's kind of happening, or the other person, there's a level of offering that ultimately happens there. Um, Even though the person's not paying, you know what I mean? You get something in another way. And that to me is like, it's pretty crucial, um, to helping the growth. So, yeah. And also, Instagram algorithm was better fucking last year or even a year ago. Like, I just got a drawing that has, got like 500 likes on it. Last year, if I did a drawing like that, got 500. One last year, if I did a drawing like that, it'd probably have more likes because of the algorithm. But also, I would have probably brought in like 500 or 600 more followers from that, just based on visibility. It's just harder to gain following now too. Mr. Popo, yeah. Instagram made me take down my Mr. Popo post and talking about how fucking racist it was, and I was like, you guys are fucking corny. You got people like Tommy Lauren and all these pieces of shit on social media or Instagram, being outright fucking racist. Oh, but their comments are, you know, free speech and all that other shit. And I make that, and instead of looking at what people are reporting, they're just like, oh, they're reporting it, so taking it down. It's a bunch of bullshit. What's my professional contact info? Everybody who talks to me professionally for illustration goes through my Instagram. Um, I work as an art director at an ad tech agency, and so I do connections and stuff like that through there. But you know, not to sound like an asshole, but I'm gonna sound like an asshole. It's very expensive for me to do design work for somebody. Um, if I was gonna like design and program a website, be anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Um, and I mean that's a site that's mobilely responsive, using CSS3 animations, probably using CSS grids, because I've basically been learning that. But that's what I get paid for in my career. They pay me a good amount of money for that. You know what I'm saying? I've done logos and sub-brand logos for companies like Microsoft and bigger tech companies through my company that I work with, and they pay me out the fucking, they pay me out the ass for shit like that. Um, and then internally, I get extra bonuses and all that other shit for specialty products that I do, for internal projects. So, like, there's no way I'm gonna do that same work outside of my job for that much less. You know what I'm saying? T Billy, what's crack-a-lacking? How you doing? Thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate it. I agree, but I'm glad we have you. Thank you. I'm glad to be a part of the community in the sphere. I'm glad you guys have embraced me the way you have. I'm hoping to get embraced even more by becoming a better artist, for everybody. You know, I hope to be able to do that and bring you guys some really dope shit. I don't actually like how this kind of guy kind of turned out. He came out okay, but I feel like some stuff is really, and I don't know what that stuff is. Now I have to fucking experiment, which I don't want to have to do. You know what I'm saying? I want to just be able to do this shit. But something's off now. You know what? Instead of duplicating that and deleting it, I'm gonna duplicate it and work off of it. And we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I need to light this side of him better. And that way it'll create a separation between his hand that's going back behind his face. Yeah, it's exactly what I should do. Because now I've created that divide. Granted, that's a lot of fucking light. Highlight. Oh, because I'm cold, get my money. Thank you. Appreciate it. appreciate you guys coming on and asking questions and shit and being interactive. That's really awesome. Gives me a better understanding too, just kind of what you guys want and what you guys like to see and everything else. If you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel. People are asking questions on there as well, and I'm just doing a little bit of a live drawing for Duelist. And I actually like that little line that I did there, and I'll probably throw some highlight on that lip. And I think that's what I needed. And I'm just going to do a hard highlight here on this arm. I don't know what the light is or where that light is coming from, but I'm just going to do that. Partially because I want to do that. And then I'm actually going to bring that light down here. Oh, that's what I'm fucking missing. It just clicked to me that I should add an undershadow to some of this stuff. See what I'm saying? That little bit, man, just constantly thinking about your work, thinking about changing it. Think about making it better. I constantly look at my work and I'm like, yo, how can I improve this? How can I, make this substantially better for myself first and for the viewer, man. Thank you guys again for joining the chat. Thank you guys again for joining the YouTube and taking the time out to watch what I'm drawing. Thank you guys for picking my brain. Underdrawing, now that I've used a lot of purple and yellow, let's see what a blue will look like, in some of this dark drawing. Maybe I might have to darken it a little bit so it's not as bright. No, it looks pretty good. I like that. Some of that light is so close to that yellow. It's like kind of enticing you, like, damn, I wish that the colors would kind of hit each other, but they don't, or they won't. Big Teddy 61. You want me to check your artwork out? You probably have to DM me for me to take a look at it. But I don't know what you expect me to say or to do about your artwork. Pyramid ceiling, the hooks. Is that the music that's playing right now? Because I'm just listening to lo-fi hip-hop playlist. Yeah. This is actually, I like how this is coming out, man. I'm glad I didn't just say, fuck this drawing, and just either leave it be or just get rid of it. Because I'm liking that underlighting. And what I'm going to do is now I can darken my shadow because it's been pushed back by some of that light. I meant hookah. Oh, yeah, the hookah. Yeah. This isn't a pyramid ceiling. This is like my little office area and shit. It's kind of, I guess it's like a pyramid ceiling. But it's a lot bigger than what I'm showing you guys. And I wanted to rip down this wallpaper, but I've been fucking lazy. So, yeah, I've been lazy. You should check out Rory and Oshun NYC. Great music. Yeah. Rory sounds familiar. Oshun NYC. I don't think I've heard of before yet. Oh, maybe I have. Is Oshun that female group? Because I might have seen them on something backpack. It's called something backpack or whatever on YouTube. I think I might have seen some of their music. now with that underlighting, I'm gonna add some blue light. I'm gonna do a little bit of hit it with a little bit of yeah. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. With a darker linear burn. Over here coming off the right side. Makes it a lot more believable. Go back and I'm gonna add a little bit more of this underlighting here. It's funny, I'm reluctant about giving people like technique tips because there are definitely better artists out there who are probably looking at the shit and be like, yeah, that kind of is right, but not really. But it's just really about my journey and getting to where I want to get to as an artist. See, that doesn't work. Experimenting and shit. Yeah, female. Illuminati confirmed. Had to stop by, dig your shit, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. James Sinatra. You need to get the angle for the tablet. I'll check it out. What's the angle? Also, I have a tablet. Does the glove really help it out? I mean, it helps your hand slide up and down on the tablet, especially like right now while it's hot as fuck in my studio. Your hand gets sweaty and moist and it gets stuck to the tablet. I mean, you don't need it, but it was cheap and I was like, whatever, I'll just get it. And I found that it's been fairly helpful. So, yeah, fairly helpful for me. Damn, I like that lighting on the chin. I like this kind of blue lighting that's here. Let's see what this lighting looks like when it is brought above the line and above my dark area. See, it's too bright. And I could pull it down, but it looks good as is. I'm the type of asshole, too, where I don't, oh, it's cutting me off. Nightmare King, I have tried it. I like it. It's not bad. So for everybody who joined my live chat on Instagram and on YouTube, thank you guys so much. This live chat just hit an hour. I don't like doing more than an hour and 15. So last video was a little too long. Hopefully my audio was a lot better this time around. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I really, really appreciate you guys rocking with me on my art journey. Peace.